There is a truth so simple, so immediate, so direct, that once you grasp it, you'll never strive again. The truth is this: your imagination, coupled with deep feeling, is the force that shapes all things. You don't need to earn it, wait for it, or hope for it. The moment you accept it as real within, life responds without. It feels like magic, but it isn't. It is law, a law that operates with precision, whether you acknowledge it or not. When you finally awaken to the fact that imagining something and feeling it as real is the act of creation, you stop trying to fix the outside. You begin to select your inner state like a sculptor chooses stone. And you chisel your world through consciousness. You ask, why does it work so fast? Because time is not your master, it is your servant. Reality does not operate on a clock, it operates on belief. When you fully assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, with no effort to force it into being, the change begins immediately. The world around you reconfigures, people shift, circumstances alter, and what you once hoped for is now in your hands. You don't have to see it to believe it, you have to believe it to see it. Very great transformation comes quietly, invisibly within. The outer event is just the echo, the applause. The applause only comes after the performance, and the performance happens in your mind. You create in silence, in stillness, in the secret chambers of self. Let this be your practice. Assume the end, dwell in the wish fulfilled, and do it with joy, not desperation. The more natural it feels, the faster it moves. The more you trust it, the more effortlessly it appears. The moment you stop watching the clock, the moment you forget how long, the universe rushes to deliver it now. It feels like magic because it bypasses logic. It doesn't ask for credentials, hard work, or permission. It only asks for faith in your inner vision, in the unseen yet deeply felt. This is not a method, it is a return, a remembering. You have always held the power, now you remember how to use it. So stop asking when, and start living as if. Don't speak about it, be about it. Walk, breathe, think, and move as one who already has it. And reality will race to catch up with the new you. It will feel like a miracle, but it's simply the law obeying your conviction. Imagination is the only creative power. What you feel as real now will solidify in your world. This is not just poetic language, it is the secret behind every transformation, every success, and every so-called miracle. The world you see outside is not fixed, not final, and certainly not separate from you. It is a mirror, a living reflection of your inner assumptions, beliefs, and most importantly, your felt imagination. To imagine something clearly and to feel it deeply as though it were already true is to give it life. It is to plant the seed in the fertile ground of consciousness. That seed, once nourished by emotion and faith, must grow. It does not require external conditions or visible means. It does not ask for approval from logic or the permission of the world. All it needs is your conviction. The moment you feel the reality of your desire, it begins to take form. You don't wait for the outer to change first. You don't negotiate with reality, you command it. Not with force, but with inner acceptance. You do not beg for what you desire, you become it. And once you become it within, the outer world has no choice but to comply. Think of the world not as something you react to, but as something you create from within. Your imagination is not daydreaming, it is crafting. It is building form in a realm beyond sight. And when your emotional state aligns with that inner image, you summon it into your experience. Most people imagine unconsciously. They imagine what they fear, what they lack, what they don't want. And then they wonder why those very things show up in their lives. But the law is impartial. It brings forth whatever you accept as true, whether it is good or bad. You do not manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. And what you are is determined by what you imagine and feel to be true. So begin now. Choose a new reality. Not someday, not when things get better, but now. Imagine it in full color, hear the sounds, feel the textures, embody the outcome. Don't just look at the image, enter it. Feel the joy, the peace, the relief of already being there. The world responds not to words but to feelings, and when the feeling becomes your dwelling place, the external world must reshape itself around your inner world. This is not fantasy. This is the law, and it is the only law that truly matters. You were never meant to struggle through effort and force. You were meant to align with the power within you and let it unfold everything for you. Imagination is not a lesser faculty. It is the source of all creation. What you imagine and feel as real becomes the blueprint for your future. It moves people, events, and opportunities into your path in ways your logical mind could never orchestrate. So trust it, nourish it, live in it. And soon what was once only imagined will be the life you wake up in. Not by accident, not by luck, but by law, the law of consciousness, the law of assumption, the law of creation itself. Speed comes when belief is pure. No doubt, no effort, just inner knowing. The moment your belief becomes unshakable, when there is no longer a conflict between what you desire and what you accept as possible, manifestation becomes swift. It flows into your life not as a reward for hard work, but as a reflection of your certainty. Things begin to unfold rapidly, not because the world outside has changed, but because your inner conviction has reached a state of clarity and alignment. Doubt delays. It scatters energy. Every time you imagine your desire and then question it, wondering how, when, or if, you slow down the unfolding, you confuse the signal you send out. The universe, being perfectly obedient to your inner state, must reflect that mixed energy. But when belief is pure, when your assumption is clean and you no longer need to look over your shoulder to check if it's working, everything begins to move at a speed that feels miraculous. There is a hidden power in calm knowing. Not the frantic faith that tries to force results, but the silent, sacred assurance that what you have imagined is already yours. It doesn't feel like effort. It doesn't even feel like hope. It feels like truth. You walk differently. You speak with calm. You rest in a kind of spiritual confidence that bypasses logic. And it is that knowing, quiet yet immovable, that quickens the bridge of incidents leading to your manifestation. This effort often comes from fear, from the belief that if you don't act, push, or fight, nothing will happen. But true creation does not respond to panic. It responds to presence. When belief is pure, you no longer chase. You no longer need proof. You live from the end, and the end feels so real, so already done, that your outer world simply obeys. Inner knowing is not just belief, it's embodiment. It means you no longer need signs to convince you, because you are the sign. You become the living evidence of what is to come. People sense it. Circumstances begin to conform to your new vibration, and what once felt far off becomes inevitable. You do not have to convince the world, you only have to convince yourself. And that conviction comes not through repetition or effort, but through quiet surrender to the reality within. You surrender not in weakness but in confidence, because you know that creation is finished. The version of you who already has what you want exists now, and you are simply merging with it through belief. So the next time you ask why something hasn't shown up yet, don't look outward. Look inward. Is there doubt? Is there hesitation? Is there effort trying to substitute for faith? If so, pause. Return to stillness. Feel it real again. Strip away the noise until only knowing remains. And when you reach that inner simplicity, when you feel the certainty without needing anything from the outer world to validate it, that's when it happens, fast, effortlessly, almost too perfectly to explain. It feels like magic, but it is simply the speed of belief in its purest form. You don't chase, you assume. It's already yours and reality rushes to reflect it. The moment you drop the need to pursue what you desire and instead assume it is already done, you step into the true power of creation. Chasing implies lack. It says, I don't have it yet, and what you affirm through your emotional state is exactly what you receive. But assumption is different. Assumption is quiet confidence. It's the inner decision that what you desire is already a present reality, even if your physical senses have yet to catch up. When you assume something is yours, you begin to live from the end. You move, speak, and think like someone who already possesses it. This changes everything, not just your mood, but your energy, your posture, your actions, and ultimately your results. You stop trying to force the outside world to change and instead inhabit the version of yourself that has already received what was once only an idea. Assumption does not mean pretending or wishing. It is not fantasy. It is a felt state of being. It means carrying the consciousness of the fulfilled desire in every moment, regardless of appearances. And here is the secret. When you no longer need it to happen, because in your inner world it already has, the outer world moves rapidly to match that internal truth. You are not waiting for the change, you are the change. This is why chasing never works. It reinforces distance between you and what you want, but assumption collapses that distance. It brings the desire into the now, where all creation happens. When you truly assume something, you don't check to see if it's working. You don't second guess or ask for signs. You don't react to delays because there are no delays in consciousness. You know it's done. You walk in that knowing. You feel the joy of the result now, not later. And because you are no longer vibrating from the place of lack, life has no choice but to conform. This is not arrogance, it's alignment. It is the deep understanding that your inner state commands reality, not the other way around. Life responds to your assumption as surely as an echo responds to sound. The only difference is the timing. And even that becomes quick, almost instant, when there is no resistance in you. So stop running after it. Stop wondering when it will happen. Begin now to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not through words but through inner embodiment. Sit quietly and enter the scene of your success. Feel the weight of the outcome. Hear the sounds, see the details. Let it become your dwelling place. Then rise and carry that feeling through your day, not with force but with ease. When you assume it's already yours, you no longer need to chase, because the world must reflect the version of you that has already received it. This is the art of effortless manifestation. It is not magic, it is law. Reality does not wait, it responds. And it responds to who you are, not who you're trying to become. The outer world bends to the state you dwell in. Change the inner, the outer follows. Everything you experience on the outside is a reflection of your inner state. It may seem as though circumstances are random, or that people act independently of your influence, but this is the great illusion. The world you call real is a mirror, echoing back to you the dominant thoughts, feelings, and beliefs you hold within. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. And what you are is defined by the state you dwell in consistently. A state is not a fleeting emotion or passing mood. It is a sustained vibration of being. It's the way you feel about yourself, life, and your position in it. You may say you want abundance, but if you dwell in a state of lack, then lack will continue to be your experience. The outer world simply has no choice. It must reflect the inner climate. This is why external change often feels temporary or incomplete. People may try to fix the outside, changing jobs, relationships, or locations. But if the internal state remains the same, the outer conditions will eventually return to match it. The scenery may shift, but the experience does not change until the inner world does. You must rise into a new state of consciousness before you can witness a new world unfold. When you choose to change the inner, you are not working against the world, you are working with the truth of it. You are choosing to reside in a new identity, the version of you who is already loved, already wealthy, already at peace. And once you dwell in that state, persistently and faithfully, life has no choice but to mirror it. The right people appear, opportunities flow, situations rearrange, not because you manipulated them, but because your internal change demanded it. The shift begins in stillness, it begins in imagination. You must enter into the feeling of the state you wish to occupy. Ask yourself, how would I feel if I already had what I desire? And then dwell there. Don't visit that feeling for a few moments only to return to doubt or fear. Live in it. Let it become familiar. Let it guide your reactions, decisions, and thoughts throughout your day. Your assumptions create your world. Your reactions maintain it. If you react to the outer world as if it holds power over you, you will remain stuck in the same patterns. But if you respond from the inner state of fulfillment, regardless of what appears, the outer world will soon conform to your new identity. There is no power outside of you. The only creative power is the consciousness you inhabit. That's where true change begins, not by striving or forcing, but by dwelling mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. In the end, you desire. Change the inner, and the outer must follow. It cannot resist. The world does not bend to effort, it bends to alignment. And alignment comes when you stop looking outside for proof and start living inside the truth. Persistence is not repetition, it is living in the end over and over as if it were now. Many misunderstand persistence. They think it means repeating affirmations endlessly or visualizing day and night until something happens. But true persistence is far deeper, far quieter, and far more powerful. It is the sustained commitment to a state of being, a faithful dwelling in the reality you wish to experience, regardless of what your senses currently report. You are not trying to force something into existence, you are choosing to live from the end, again and again, until that end becomes your identity. It's not about effort, it's about residence. You are not a visitor in the house of your desire, you are the owner. You wake up there, you breathe there, you speak from there. That's persistence. And you persist in a state. You are saying to the universe, this is who I am now. You are not asking or waiting, you are being. And reality, which is always faithful to your state of consciousness, begins to bend, shift, and rearrange itself to accommodate your new inner dwelling. Repetition without feeling is hollow. You can say 1,000 affirmations, but if your inner state remains unchanged, they fall to the ground. But when you live in the end, when you feel the truth of your desire already fulfilled and carry that feeling throughout your day, you are persisting in the only way that matters. Living in the end does not mean ignoring the present. It means you no longer react to it as truth. You may see lack, but you feel abundance. You may experience loneliness, but you dwell in love. You are no longer a slave to appearances, because you know that the outer world is old news. It is the past echo of an inner state you've already left behind. Persistence is continuing to respond from the version of you who already has what you once longed for. When challenges arise, you don't crumble, you remain. You do not let the facts of life dictate your faith. Instead, you let your faith dictate the facts. That's the difference between hoping and knowing. True persistence is effortless when the inner world feels more real than the outer. You no longer need proof because the assumption of the wish fulfilled becomes your truth. And from that truth you move, you speak, you decide, and you create. Every time you return to the feeling of the end, you strengthen your connection to it. And the stronger that connection becomes, the faster your world must reflect it. You are not forcing time, you are collapsing it. You are not fighting reality, you are transforming it from within. So persist, not in struggle, not in ritual, but in identity. Be the one who already has it. Live from the end, not toward it. Feel it as now. Respond as if it's already done. Because in truth, it is already done. And your persistence is simply the act of aligning with that timeless reality until the world around you catches up with who you've already become. Miracles are not supernatural. They are natural responses to inner conviction. What the world calls a miracle is not an exception to the rules of life. It is the fulfillment of the highest law. The law that governs reality is not found in outer force or visible means. It is rooted in consciousness. When your conviction becomes absolute, when your inner knowing outweighs appearances, life has no choice but to yield. What was once improbable becomes inevitable. What others call a miracle, you recognize as alignment. There is nothing magical or accidental about true miracles. They are not rewards for the worthy, nor are they random blessings dropped by chance. They are outcomes of belief. Deep, steady, and unwavering belief. When your inner state is so clear, so convinced, so aligned with the reality you desire, the world bends to match that inner picture. And it does so not slowly, not with hesitation, but with precision. Because a miracle is not something you wait for. It is something you allow. It is the natural consequence of faith that does not waver in the face of evidence. You do not need to convince others, prove yourself, or seek approval. You need only to be convinced within. Conviction creates, not because it manipulates the outer world, but because it declares something is already true, and the world, which is only a mirror, must reflect that truth. Inner conviction is quiet power. It does not argue, it does not beg, it does not ask if something is possible. It assumes that it is already done. From that assumption, you move differently. You speak with calm assurance. You stop reacting to delays, obstacles, or contradictions because you no longer identify with them. You have already crossed over in your mind. You have already accepted the outcome as real, and that is what creates the so-called miraculous. The laws of this world are not broken by miracles, they are fulfilled by them. Because the highest law is not physical, it is spiritual. It says, as within, so without. As you believe, so shall it be done. When you embody this law through unwavering inner certainty, nothing can stop the manifestation. It must come not as a matter of effort, but as a matter of law. The world will call it luck, coincidence, or divine intervention. But you will know. You will know it came from your inner decision to no longer see yourself as separate from what you desire. You chose to become the one who already has it, and the world responded with grace. That is a miracle, not unnatural. You are not here to wish and wonder. You are here to remember your power, to feel something so completely real on the inside that nothing on the outside can shake it. And when that inner state becomes your dwelling place, the extraordinary becomes ordinary, the impossible becomes obvious, and life begins to unfold in ways that seem to defy reason. but only because they follow a higher one. Miracles are not rare. They are the natural rhythm of one who lives by inner truth, not outer fact. They follow conviction the way a shadow follows light. Your job is not to force the miracle. Your only task is to believe so completely that the world must rise to meet you. All change begins within. What you see in your world is not happening to you, it is happening through you. The moment you understand that your imagination, your inner conviction, and your assumption of already having your desire are the true forces behind creation, you stop chasing, striving, or doubting. You return to the source within yourself. This power doesn't ask you to beg, it asks you to believe. It doesn't require effort, it requires alignment. When you live in the end, when you feel it real and persist in that feeling, reality must respond. And it does so quickly, quietly, and often in ways that appear miraculous. But these are not miracles, they are the natural outcome of inner certainty. So choose now. Dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled. Walk in faith, not fear. Assume it is done, and it will be. The outer world bends to the inner world, it has no choice. That is the law. And when you align with it, life begins to move so swiftly, so flawlessly, it truly feels like magic. But it is simply you, remembering who you really are. Sincere thanks to the listener. Thank you for tuning in. May these words awaken the power already within you, and may you walk boldly in the knowing that it is already yours. Trust yourself, believe deeply, and watch your world transform. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe. Can you feel it? That still, quiet presence inside of you? That is the power that creates worlds. That is the force that has already answered your prayer. Many give up just before the miracle arrives. They look at the world around them, and when they see no change, they say, nothing is happening. But that is the greatest deception of all. The seed does not sprout the moment you plant it. The caterpillar does not transform into a butterfly overnight. And your miracle, though unseen, is already unfolding beneath the surface. The moment you desired it, it was yours. The moment you declared it, it was set in motion. But between the asking and the receiving, there is a test. A test of faith, a test of trust, a test of persistence. You do not beg the sun to rise. You simply trust that it will. So why doubt your own creation? The physical world is a mere shadow of your inner state. Everything you see now is the past made visible. But your future, it is shaped by your belief in this very moment. If you hold fast, if you refuse to let appearances shake your knowing, then nothing can stop what is already destined to be yours. Imagine it now, feel it deeply, the relief, the joy, the gratitude of already having what you seek. That feeling is not a dream. That feeling is reality in its truest form. Your body may not see it yet, but your spirit knows it is done. So do not let doubt steal what is rightfully yours. Do not let impatience push you into despair. The universe is always on time, and your miracle is coming faster than you think. What you consistently hold in your mind with unwavering faith becomes your reality. Your thoughts are not mere fleeting ideas. They are the seeds of creation, shaping the world around you. Every great achievement, every miraculous event, every shift in reality begins in the unseen realm of the mind. The life you experience today is nothing more than a reflection of past assumptions and beliefs, consciously or unconsciously entertained. Many people believe that reality is something fixed, something outside of them, something they must fight against or struggle to change. But this is the greatest illusion. Reality does not impose itself upon you. It conforms to the images and feelings you repeatedly dwell upon. If you persist in seeing yourself as someone who lacks, who is waiting, who is struggling, then your world must mirror that state. But if you can dare to see yourself as already possessing what you seek, if you can hold on to the feeling of fulfillment, then reality has no choice but to rearrange itself to match that inner conviction. This is not a matter of wishful thinking or empty daydreaming. This is the principle by which all things come into being. Every invention, every breakthrough, every success story first lived in the imagination of someone who refused to let doubt interfere. Before the airplane existed, it lived in the mind of the Wright brothers. Before great cities were built, they were nothing but ideas in the minds of visionaries. Even the simple act of writing a letter begins first as a thought before it takes shape on paper. The unseen must always come before the seen. Your miracle is no different. It is already forming. The moment you conceived the desire, the moment you saw it in your mind and felt its reality, the process began. The only thing that can delay its arrival is doubt, impatience, or a return to the old way of seeing things. When you waver between believing and doubting, between seeing yourself as having it and fearing that it will never come, you send conflicting signals to the universe. But when you persist, when you remain steadfast in the assumption that it is already yours, then nothing in this world can stop it from appearing. You do not need to force anything. You do not need to struggle or chase after it. The universe is not moved by desperation. It is moved by faith. Simply hold to the inner vision. Live from the end as if what you desire is already part of your life. Let that feeling of fulfillment become natural to you. Make it the dominant state of your being, and soon, what was once only in your imagination will stand before you as your tangible reality. So do not waver, do not let temporary appearances deceive you. What you seek is already on its way, unfolding in ways beyond your comprehension. Trust the process. Stay in the state of fulfillment. Your imagination is the blueprint of your future, and the more you persist in the reality of your desire, the sooner it must become visible in your world. The concept of time is one of the greatest illusions that keeps people trapped in a cycle of waiting, hoping, and doubting. It creates the false belief that what you desire exists somewhere in the future, always just out of reach, always dependent on external circumstances aligning in a certain way. But in truth, the future does not exist apart from your present state of being. What you call the future is simply a projection of what you assume to be true now. If you believe your miracle is far away, it will remain far away. If you persist in the feeling that it is already done, it must be made manifest in your world. Everything you seek already exists in the unseen. The delay you perceive is not a delay in reality. It is simply the time it takes for your consciousness to align fully with your desire. The moment you accept it as true in your inner world, the outer world has no choice but to conform. This is not a process bound by time, but by your level of conviction. If you remain in a state of doubt, questioning when and how it will happen, you stretch the illusion of time, keeping your desire at arm's length. But if you let go of the need to see physical proof and instead trust that it is already yours, time collapses and the manifestation appears effortlessly. Think of a seed planted in the soil. The moment it is planted, the process of growth has begun. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that the unseen forces of nature are at work. Your desires operate the same way. The moment you plant the seed of assumption, the inner knowing that what you desire is already done, the universe begins to arrange everything necessary to bring it into form. You do not need to force or rush it. Your only task is to persist in the conviction that it is already accomplished. Many people make the mistake of measuring their progress by what they see with their physical eyes. If they do not see immediate evidence, they assume nothing is happening. But this is where faith must take over. The physical world is always the last to reflect what has already been set in motion in the unseen. Do not be deceived by appearances. Just as a tree is fully formed in the seed before it grows into view, your miracle is already complete in the invisible realm. Doubt, impatience, and frustration are what keep you bound to the illusion of time. But the moment you release the need to wait and instead move into the certainty that it is already yours, you align yourself with its reality. It is not coming, it is already here. It is not in the future, it is now. The only thing left for you to do is to remain in the state of knowing, to feel as though you already have it, and to trust that it must appear. Because when you no longer look for it, when you no longer question its arrival, that is when it finally shows up, exactly as you imagine. Faith is the invisible force that turns the unseen into the seen. It is the bridge between your desire and its physical manifestation. Without faith, the mind wavers, shifting between hope and doubt, delaying what is already meant to be yours. But when faith is unwavering, it collapses the illusion of separation between what you seek and what you experience. Faith is not merely believing in something distant. It is the certainty that what you desire is already a reality, even when your physical senses show no proof. Most people rely too heavily on what they see. They look at their circumstances and allow them to dictate what they believe is possible. But reality does not work this way. What you see now is simply a reflection of your past thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. If you allow the present moment to discourage you, you continue to recreate the same cycle. Faith requires that you look beyond appearances, that you trust in the unseen, that you persist in knowing the truth of your desire even when the world suggests otherwise. Consider the way a builder constructs a house. He does not question whether the house will stand simply because in the early stages there is only an empty lot. He follows the blueprint with confidence, knowing that step by step the structure will take form. Your desires follow the same principle. The moment you assume something to be true within yourself, the foundation is laid. Every time you affirm it, every time you feel its reality, you add to the construction of its manifestation. The world may still show you an empty lot, but faith sees the finished result. Faith walks through the completed home before a single wall is built. Doubt is the only thing that can weaken this bridge. If you entertain doubt, you pull yourself back into the illusion of separation, delaying what was already yours. Many people give up too soon because they do not see immediate evidence. They abandon their vision just before it would have materialized. But faith demands persistence. It demands that you trust the process, even when there is no physical confirmation. If you hold fast, the outer world must eventually conform, for the unseen always precedes the seen. Faith is not passive, it is an active state of knowing. It is the ability to move through life with the confidence that your desires are already in motion. It is the refusal to be shaken by external circumstances. It is standing firm in your assumption, unwavering in the belief that what you have claimed is already yours. The greatest manifestations come to those who trust, who do not waver, who hold to their vision even in the absence of proof. The process is always working even when you cannot see it. Faith is the key that unlocks the door, and when you persist in that knowing, the unseen must become seen. Just as surely as the sun must rise, just as surely as the seasons must change. What you seek is already seeking you. Faith is simply the bridge that brings it into view. What you see in the world around you is nothing more than a reflection of your past thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. It is not fixed. It is not absolute. It is simply an echo, a delayed response to the state of consciousness you have previously occupied. If you allow yourself to be deceived by what appears in front of you, you will continue to recreate the same experiences, trapped in an endless loop of reacting rather than creating. But if you understand that the outer world is always playing catch-up to your inner state, then you will no longer be swayed by what seems to be. Instead, you will hold firm to what you know must come. The mistake most people make is believing that the physical world holds power over them. They see lack, so they feel lack. They experience delay, so they assume their desire is far away. But this is the great illusion. The moment you react to what you see, you reinforce it, giving it more life, allowing it to persist. But the moment you detach, the moment you refuse to accept anything less than the fulfillment of your desire, you set into motion a shift that must eventually be reflected in your external world. This is why you must ignore the 3D world when it contradicts your vision. If what you desire is not yet visible, it is only because reality is still adjusting. The physical world is slow to catch up, but it must follow the direction of your inner conviction. Just as a shadow cannot move on its own, but only follows the movement of the object casting it, so too does your external reality follow the movement of your mind. If you remain steadfast in your assumption, the outer world has no choice but to reshape itself in accordance with your new state. Consider a radio. If you want to listen to a specific station, you must tune into the correct frequency. If you keep tuning into the wrong station, you cannot blame the radio. It is simply reflecting the frequency you have chosen. Your life works the same way. If you continue to observe and react to what you do not want, you are tuning into that reality and keeping yourself locked in it. But if you shift your focus, if you persist in seeing only what you desire, you will change the frequency of your life, and soon the world must reflect that new state back to you. Remain firm in your assumption. Walk through life as if your desire is already fulfilled. Speak, think, and feel from the end. Do not seek confirmation from the physical world. It will always be a step behind. Your job is not to question or to look for evidence. Your job is to persist, to live in the certainty that what you desire is already yours. And when you do this, when you truly commit to the unseen reality within, the world around you will have no choice but to align. The illusion of delay will vanish, and what was once only a vision will stand before you, real and undeniable. The way you feel is the key to everything. Your emotions are not merely reactions to your circumstances, they are the very cause of them. Every experience in your life is a reflection of your inner state, shaped by the feelings you consistently hold. If you feel lack, you will see lack. If you feel abundance, you will experience abundance. The universe does not respond to your words or your actions alone. It responds to the dominant emotions that live within you. This is why feeling is the secret to manifestation. It is not enough to simply think about what you desire. You must feel as if it is already yours. Many people believe they must wait for external changes before they can feel happy, fulfilled, or secure. They believe that once they receive their desire, then they will feel joy. But this is working in reverse. The truth is that you must feel the joy, peace, and certainty first, and then reality will shift to match that inner state. You must enter the mood of your fulfilled desire before it appears in the world around you. This is the great secret that separates those who manifest effortlessly from those who struggle and wait. Consider an actor preparing for a role. If he wishes to be convincing, he must fully embody the character. He must think, speak, and feel as the character would. He does not simply repeat lines without emotion, he immerses himself in the state of being. In the same way, you must embody the state of your fulfilled desire. If you wish to experience love, feel love now. If you wish to experience wealth, feel the security and freedom of wealth now. If you wish to experience success, feel the confidence and accomplishment of success now. The more deeply you immerse yourself in this feeling, the faster the world around you will conform. The reason feeling is so powerful is that it bypasses the conscious mind and directly influences the subconscious, where all creation begins. Your subconscious does not question, argue, or analyze. It simply accepts and expresses what you deeply feel to be true. This is why fleeting thoughts have little impact, but sustained emotions shape your destiny. If you consistently feel unworthy, the world will reflect situations that confirm your unworthiness. But if you persist in the feeling of being loved, successful, and abundant, reality has no choice but to make it so. The greatest mistake people make is allowing their emotions to be dictated by what they see. They react to circumstances instead of creating them. But the moment you take control, the moment you decide to feel as though your desire is already fulfilled, you set a new course for your life. Your feelings become the seed, and the universe must bring forth the harvest. So, hold to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let joy, gratitude, and certainty fill your heart. Live in the assumption that it is done, and soon What was once only a feeling will take shape before your very eyes. The moment you decide on a desire, the universe sets everything in motion to bring it to you. But before it fully manifests, you may experience resistance. This is the final test. It is not a sign that your manifestation is failing. It is a sign that it is near. The greatest mistake people make is giving up just before their breakthrough arrives. They see obstacles, delays, or even the complete opposite of what they desire, and they assume it means their manifestation is not working. But in truth, this resistance is an illusion, a last remnant of the old reality trying to hold on. When you persist in a new assumption, your subconscious mind begins reshaping your world to match it. However, everything that contradicts this new state must first be cleared away. Sometimes this appears as chaos, as though things are falling apart, but they are not falling apart. They are rearranging. Imagine shaking a snow globe. At first the snow swirls chaotically, but soon it settles into a new order. Your persistence is what allows the new order to form. If you stop shaking the globe, the snow settles back into the same place it was before. The same is true with your mind. If you waver, you return to the old reality. This is why persistence is the test. The moment of greatest resistance is often right before the shift occurs. The closer you are to your miracle, the louder the old reality will try to hold on. It will tempt you with doubt, with fear, with evidence that seems contrary to your desire. But this is where most people fail. They see this resistance and assume they have lost. So they abandon their vision, allowing the old state to remain intact. But if they had held on just a little longer, the breakthrough would have come. Think of a seed buried in the soil. Before it sprouts, the ground looks unchanged. There is no visible sign of progress, yet beneath the surface the seed is breaking open, pushing through the dirt, reaching toward the light. If someone were to dig it up too soon, they would say, "Nothing is happening," and throw it away. But if they had waited, they would have seen the seedling emerge. The same is true for your desires. When you persist, even when there is no evidence, even when resistance seems strongest, you are allowing the unseen forces to complete their work. You must develop an unshakable knowing. No matter what appears in front of you, you must refuse to accept anything less than your desired outcome. Reality is fluid, always shifting in response to your inner state. The test is whether you will hold your vision in the face of illusion. When you pass this test, your breakthrough is inevitable. So when things seem hardest, when it feels like everything is against you, remember, this is the final illusion. Hold firm, stay the course. Your miracle is closer than you think. Everything you desire is already yours. The world you see is only a reflection of your past assumptions, but you are not bound by it. Imagination precedes reality. Time is an illusion, and faith is the bridge that brings the unseen to form. You must ignore the distractions of the physical world, knowing that it is always catching up to your inner state. Your feelings are the secret. They shape the life you experience, and above all, your persistence is the test. Just before the breakthrough, resistance may appear strongest, but this is only the final illusion. Hold firm, trust in the unseen, walk as if your desire is already fulfilled, and soon the world will align to match it. You are the creator, the cause of all that unfolds. Never doubt the power within you. Your miracle is coming. Do not give up. Thank you. My friends, the moment before the breakthrough is always the hardest. The night is darkest before dawn, and the soul is tested before its greatest reward. But if you are alert, you will recognize the signs that God is preparing you for something beyond your imagination. The first sign, disruptions will come like a storm. Everything you once depended on might crumble. Friendships dissolve, opportunities fade, familiar paths close. But do not despair. God is not taking things from you. He is making space for what is greater. The second sign, you will find yourself alone. Suddenly, you feel detached from the people around you. Even those who once understood you may now seem distant. This isolation is not rejection. It is a sacred moment of preparation. In silence, you will hear the voice of God more clearly. The third sign, a deep knowing will settle in your spirit. Call it intuition, call it faith, but something inside you will whisper, it is coming. You may not see the evidence yet, but you will feel it. This is not wishful thinking. It is your reality aligning itself with your destiny. The fourth sign, doors that once opened with ease now seem locked. Opportunities that seemed promising will slip through your fingers, but do not mistake delays for defeat. What is meant for you is never lost. It is simply waiting for the perfect divine timing. The fifth sign, challenges will intensify. The closer you get to the blessing, the greater the resistance. But opposition is confirmation. The enemy does not attack what is weak, only what is valuable. If you are facing trials, rejoice. It means your blessing is near. The sixth sign, a deep, unshakable peace will settle over you. Even in the middle of uncertainty, you will feel a strange calm. This is God's assurance that He is working behind the scenes. When the mind surrenders to trust, miracles unfold effortlessly. And the seventh sign, everything will suddenly fall into place. The delay will end, the right people will appear, and the path will clear. What once seemed impossible will come together so effortlessly that you will know this was God's plan all along. So if you are seeing these signs, do not fear, do not resist. Stand firm in faith, for God is about to give you something so big that it will change your life forever. It is already yours. Believe and it shall be. Life has a mysterious way of preparing us for the things we desire. Often, before a great blessing arrives, everything around us seems to fall apart. Relationships shift, opportunities vanish, and familiar circumstances begin to unravel. To the untrained eye, this appears as misfortune, an unwelcome disruption to the comfort and stability we have known. But in truth, what we call chaos is nothing more than divine alignment at work. It is a necessary process that clears the way for something greater. Think of the seed that must break before it grows. Before it becomes a mighty tree, it is buried in the darkness of the soil, seemingly lost and forgotten. But beneath the surface, a transformation is taking place. The shell of the seed must rupture, its previous form must be destroyed, and only then can it sprout into something new. Likewise, in our own lives, things must break before something greater emerges. When you experience disruptions, loss, endings, unexpected changes, it is easy to feel that life is working against you. You may wonder why the things you counted on are suddenly being stripped away. But nothing is being taken from you that is meant for you. Instead, what no longer serves your highest purpose is being removed so that you can receive something better. Too often we cling to familiarity even when it no longer fulfills us. We hold on to jobs that drain us, relationships that stifle our growth, or habits that keep us small. Yet when a higher plan is unfolding, these things begin to fall away, not as punishment but as preparation. The discomfort you feel is simply the process of realignment. Consider the story of a person who loses their job unexpectedly. At first, panic sets in. Fear of the unknown grips them. But in time, they realize that the loss was a blessing in disguise. It pushed them to seek a new path, one they would have never considered if they had stayed where they were. It is only in hindsight that they see the hand of divine guidance, leading them toward a future far greater than the one they had imagined. This is why it is crucial not to resist when disruptions arise. The natural reaction is to fight against change, to try to hold on to what is leading. But resistance only prolongs the process. Instead of seeing disruption as a setback, embrace it as a sign that something new is being prepared for you. The key is trust. When life begins to shake, trust that it is shaking loose the things that no longer belong. When doors close, trust that they are closing to guide you toward the right ones. When people leave, trust that their chapter in your life has served its purpose. Letting go is not about loss, it is about making space for what is meant to be. There is a reason that moments of greatest transformation often come after seasons of upheaval. The discomfort forces us to grow, to stretch beyond our limitations, and to step into a new version of ourselves. The struggle is not a sign of failure, it is evidence that a breakthrough is near. So, if you find yourself in the midst of disruption, do not despair. Look beyond what appears to be falling apart and recognize what is being built. The very things you see as obstacles are in fact the stepping stones leading you toward the blessing that awaits. Nothing is happening by accident. Every challenge, every ending, every shift is preparing you for something far greater than you can yet see. Your breakthrough is not coming, it is already unfolding. Trust the process, embrace the change, and know that divine alignment is always at work. There comes a time in life when you may feel completely alone. People you once depended on drift away. Conversations that once flowed effortlessly now feel distant and strained. Invitations stop coming. Friendships fade, and suddenly the places where you once felt at home no longer feel welcoming. If this is happening to you, do not be discouraged. This is not rejection, it is divine separation. Many people misunderstand isolation, believing it to be a sign of abandonment or failure. But in truth, isolation is often a sacred season designed to elevate you. When God is preparing you for something greater, He removes distractions and detaches you from influences that no longer align with your purpose. This separation is not a punishment, it is preparation. Look at nature for guidance. Before a butterfly emerges, it must go through a period of complete isolation within the cocoon. In the darkness, it undergoes a profound transformation. If the process is interrupted, the butterfly will never develop the strength it needs to fly. The same is true for you. Isolation is your cocoon. It is the place where you are strengthened, refined, and made ready for the next chapter of your life. One of the first things that happen in this season is the removal of people who are not meant to go with you into your future. You may wonder why certain relationships have ended so suddenly. Friends who once supported you may no longer understand you. Family members may question your path. The very people you thought would be by your side forever may begin to distance themselves. But do not fight to hold on to what God is removing. Their exit is part of your elevation. Not everyone can go where you are going. Some people were only meant to be in your life for a season, to teach you lessons, to help you grow, and then to move on. If you hold on to them too tightly, you may delay your own progress. Instead of seeing their departure as a loss, recognize it as divine direction. In isolation, you are given the space to listen more closely to your own inner voice. When the noise of the world fades away, you begin to hear the whispers of wisdom that have always been within you. This is the time when God speaks to you most clearly, guiding you toward your destiny. You may not understand the full picture yet, but trust that you are being positioned exactly where you need to be. This is also a season of personal growth. Many people fear being alone because they have never truly spent time with themselves. But solitude is not emptiness. It is an opportunity for self-discovery. It is in these quiet moments that you uncover your true desires, your strengths, and the hidden potential that has been waiting to emerge. Isolation teaches you self-reliance. When you no longer have people constantly around to validate you, you learn to validate yourself. You develop resilience, inner peace, and the confidence to walk your path without seeking approval. This strength will be necessary for the next level of your life. Understand that isolation is temporary. Just as the butterfly does not stay in the cocoon forever, neither will you. But when you emerge, you will not be the same. You will be stronger, wiser, and fully prepared for the blessings that are about to unfold. So, if you find yourself in a season of solitude, embrace it. Do not resist the process or try to force old connections to remain. Trust that this is happening for a reason. You are being set apart, not because you are forgotten, but because you are chosen. This is your time to grow, to heal, and to prepare for the incredible future that awaits you. There comes a moment in life when you begin to feel something shifting within you. It is subtle at first, an unexplainable feeling, a quiet nudge, a knowing that refuses to be ignored. You cannot see it yet, but something deep within tells you that change is coming. This is not mere wishful thinking or coincidence. It is divine intuition. Intuition is the language of the soul. It is how the unseen speaks to you, guiding you toward what is already yours. When something great is about to unfold, your inner voice becomes louder, your awareness sharper, and your instincts more precise. It is as if you are being prepared from within before the blessing manifests in the physical world. This feeling may not make sense. You might not have any visible signs that change is near, yet you cannot shake the certainty that something is happening behind the scenes. You may feel a deep sense of anticipation, as if you are standing at the edge of something extraordinary. This is because your spirit recognizes what your eyes cannot yet see. This inner knowing often comes with a heightened sense of clarity. You suddenly feel drawn toward certain paths, decisions, or people, even if they do not align with your current reality. What once interested you no longer excites you, and what once felt distant now calls to you with urgency. This is your intuition aligning you with your destiny. When this happens, trust it. Too often people dismiss their intuition, allowing fear and logic to take control. They convince themselves that their feelings are irrational, that they need proof before they believe. But intuition does not operate on evidence. It operates on truth. The moment you begin doubting it, you delay what is meant for you. You may notice that during this time, your dreams become more vivid. You begin to receive signs, repetitive messages, or synchronicities that seem too precise to be random. Numbers, symbols, and even the words of strangers start confirming what you already feel inside. These are not accidents. They are reassurances that you are on the right path. This knowing also comes with a sense of peace. Even if nothing around you has changed, you feel an unshakable calm within. You are no longer as affected by external circumstances. The things that once triggered doubt or fear now seem small compared to the deep certainty you feel inside. This is a sign that you have stepped into alignment with what is coming. This heightened intuition often comes with tests. The moment you sense something big approaching, challenges may arise to make you question it. You may face delays, obstacles, or even situations that appear to contradict what you feel. This is where many give up, believing they were wrong to trust their inner knowing. But these tests are not meant to discourage you. They are meant to strengthen your faith. In these moments, remind yourself that intuition does not mislead. If you feel it deeply, it is because it is already unfolding. The key is to remain firm, to trust even when the evidence is not yet visible. When a seed is planted, it does not sprout immediately. It grows beneath the surface first, unseen but inevitable. Your intuition is proof that the seed has already been planted. When you feel this unshakable inner knowing, embrace it. Do not ignore it, do not question it, and above all, do not let fear silence it. Trust that you are being guided towards something greater. What you seek is already seeking you. The feeling you have inside is not a dream. It is a preview of your reality. There will be moments in life when everything seems to slow down, when the doors that once opened with ease suddenly refuse to budge. The opportunities that once flowed effortlessly may seem to dry up, and the progress you were making grinds to a halt. It can be frustrating, even disheartening, to experience such delays, especially when you are certain that you are moving in the right direction. But understand this: delays are not denials. They are divine timing at work, ensuring that you receive what is truly meant for you at the perfect moment. It may seem like something is wrong. You may wonder if you made a mistake, if you should have chosen a different path, or if what you desire is slipping away. But what you do not yet see is that the delay is working in your favor. It is not a sign that you are being blocked, it is a sign that something better is being prepared. Timing is everything, and when something is meant for you, it will not come a moment too soon or a moment too late. Patience is often tested in these seasons. You may be tempted to force things, to push open doors that are not yet ready to open, but forcing something before its time only leads to struggle and unnecessary hardship. Imagine a fruit that is picked too soon. It is bitter, unripe, and not yet at its full potential. But when allowed to ripen naturally, it becomes sweet, nourishing, and exactly as it should be. The same principle applies to your life. If something is delayed, it is because it is not yet at its fullest and most perfect state. During these times, trust is essential. You must trust that the delay is happening for a reason, even if that reason is not immediately clear. Perhaps what you are seeking is still being prepared. Maybe there are unseen factors shifting into place, aligning to bring you something even greater than what you imagined. Or perhaps you yourself are being prepared. Your growth, your mindset, and your readiness are being refined so that when the opportunity does arrive, you will be fully equipped to receive it. Often, delays serve as a period of transformation. They strip away impatience, strengthen faith, and teach the invaluable lesson that not all progress is visible. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean movement is not happening. A tree does not grow overnight, yet beneath the soil its roots are expanding, anchoring it deeply so that it can stand strong when the time comes. Your life is no different. The roots of your blessings are growing, even in the stillness. It is also in these seasons of delay that many people give up. Frustration takes over and doubt creeps in. They assume that because things are not happening as quickly as they hoped, they never will. But those who understand divine timing know better. They know that waiting is not wasting. They know that just as the tide must recede before it rushes back in, sometimes life must slow down before it accelerates forward in ways beyond imagination. Rather than resist the delay, use it. Use it to reflect, to refine, to prepare. Strengthen yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so that when the doors finally open, you will walk through them with certainty, confidence, and wisdom. A delay does not mean your blessing has been taken away. It simply means it is being perfected. When the right moment arrives, everything will fall into place effortlessly. The doors that seemed locked will swing open without resistance. The opportunities that felt out of reach will appear with perfect precision. What once felt like a setback will reveal itself as divine orchestration. And when that moment comes, you will understand why the delay was necessary all along. There comes a time when everything seems to become more difficult just before a breakthrough. Challenges intensify, obstacles appear out of nowhere, and the pressure mounts in ways you have never experienced before. It may feel as though life is working against you, as though the very thing you are moving toward is pushing back with greater force. But this is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that something powerful is about to unfold. The resistance you feel is not meant to stop you. It is meant to refine you. Pressure creates diamonds. Without extreme heat and intense pressure, coal remains ordinary and unchanged. But when subjected to the right conditions, it transforms into something rare, something valuable. The same principle applies to your life. When challenges intensify, when the weight becomes heavier, it is not meant to break you. It is meant to refine you, to strengthen you, to prepare you for what is coming. It is easy to remain steadfast when things are smooth, but the real test comes when you are met with adversity. The delays, the disappointments, the unexpected hardships, these are not random events. They are part of a greater process designed to shape you into the person who is ready to receive what you have been asking for. If the blessing arrived too soon, if it came before you were truly prepared, it would not last. That is why the trials increase before the breakthrough. They serve as a final test, a final refinement. ensuring that when you step into your blessing, you are fully equipped to handle it. Many people, when faced with intensified challenges, begin to question everything. They wonder if they have made the wrong choice, if they should turn back, if the struggle is a sign that they are not meant to move forward. But in reality, it is the exact opposite. The resistance is confirmation that you are on the verge of something great. If you were not close to your breakthrough, the opposition would not be this strong. Darkness does not attack what is stagnant. It attacks what is advancing. This is why those who are about to receive something extraordinary often face the hardest battles. The moments when you feel the most exhausted, the most uncertain, the most tempted to give up, those are the moments when you must push forward the hardest. Breakthroughs do not come to those who retreat. They come to those who refuse to be shaken by temporary storms. The pressure is not there to destroy you. It is there to strengthen your faith. It is there to force you to trust in something greater than your circumstances. When everything around you suggests that you should quit, but you choose to keep going, that is when transformation happens. That is when you prove that you are ready. Challenges serve another purpose as well. They reveal what needs to be released. Before stepping into something new, you cannot carry the weight of the past, old fears, limiting beliefs, unhealthy attachments. These must be stripped away, and often it is through struggle that these things come to the surface. The situations that test you the most also show you what still needs to be healed. Every difficulty is refining you, making you lighter, stronger, and more prepared for the blessings ahead. When the challenges seem unbearable, remember this: the pressure is temporary, but the reward is eternal. Nothing you are going through is wasted. Every hardship, every setback, every painful moment is leading you to something greater. Stay the course. Do not be discouraged by the struggle, because it is proof that you are on the right path. You are being prepared, shaped, and strengthened for something beyond what you can imagine. Keep moving forward, for the breakthrough is closer than you think. There comes a moment when, despite everything happening around you, you feel a deep and unshakable calm. This is not the absence of problems, nor is it a lack of challenges. In fact, the external world may seem more chaotic than ever, yet within there is peace. It is not the kind of peace that comes from logic or reason, but a quiet knowing, an assurance that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This is the greatest confirmation that what you have been seeking is already on its way to you. When you have struggled, when you have questioned, when you have faced delay after delay, you may have spent much of your time in a state of doubt. You may have wondered if your desires would ever manifest, if your prayers were being heard, if all your efforts were in vain. But then something shifts. The anxiety lessens, the overthinking fades, and you no longer feel the need to control every detail. You begin to trust. And in that trust, there is peace. This inner calm is not something that can be forced. It is not something you achieve through effort. It is something that arises naturally when you align with divine timing. It is the realization that what you seek is already seeking you, that what is meant for you cannot be lost. This is why those who are about to receive something great often experience an overwhelming sense of stillness before it arrives. Nothing may appear to have changed. The physical world may still show no evidence of what you are waiting for, but deep within you already know. There is no rush, no desperation, no need to force anything. It is as if the outcome has already been sealed, and you are simply watching it unfold in perfect time. This is the power of true faith, not hoping, not wishing, but knowing. This deep inner calm also acts as a shield. When you are truly at peace, external circumstances lose their power over you. You are no longer swayed by delays, by temporary obstacles, or by the doubts of others. You no longer seek validation from the outside world because you have already received confirmation from within. The world may tell you to be anxious, to worry, to stress about the future, but something in you refuses to engage in fear. You know too much. You have seen the signs. You have felt the shift. This level of peace does not mean that challenges will suddenly disappear, but it does mean that those challenges will no longer affect you in the same way. You stop reacting, stop resisting, stop fearing the unknown. You move with trust, with certainty, with a quiet confidence that all things are working in your favor. Even when things seem to go wrong, you remain calm because you understand that nothing is truly going wrong. Everything is simply moving into alignment, even if you cannot yet see how. Many people spend their lives searching for this kind of peace. They chase success, relationships, and material wealth, believing that these things will bring them fulfillment. But true peace does not come from the outside. It comes from within, from the realization that you already have everything you need. It comes from understanding that you are not waiting for your blessing, it is already here, unfolding in ways beyond your comprehension. This is why before a great manifestation, before a powerful shift, this deep inner calm arrives. It is not the result of receiving the blessing, it is the sign that the blessing is inevitable. When you feel this stillness, when you no longer feel the need to strive or struggle, know that you are in the final moments before everything changes. The work is done, the seed has been planted. Now all that is left is to watch it bloom. When God is about to give you something big, the signs are undeniable. The disruptions, the isolation, the heightened intuition, the delays, the intensified challenges, and ultimately the deep inner calm. Each of these experiences is not a setback but a setup. They are divine markers guiding you toward your breakthrough. They refine you, align you, and prepare you to receive what has already been written in your destiny. In the moments when life feels uncertain, when the path seems unclear, remember this. Nothing is happening to harm you, everything is happening to shape you. What is meant for you is already making its way into your life, and all you have to do is trust. The resistance you feel is only temporary, but the blessing that awaits is eternal. So do not fear the process, do not resist the changes, embrace them, knowing that they are leading you exactly where you need to be. Walk forward with faith, with confidence, with certainty. What you seek is already seeking you, and soon you will see it unfold before your very eyes. Thank you for listening, and may you move forward with unwavering trust in the divine timing of your life. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel it. Everything you have been longing for, the life you have dreamed of, the love, the abundance, the freedom, it is not in some distant future, it is here now. The world you see with your eyes is merely a reflection of your inner state. You may have believed that your desires were taking their time, that the universe was making you wait. But the truth is, the moment you truly assume it to be yours, it must appear. Nothing in this world is kept from you. The only delay has been your hesitation to claim it. But now the tide has turned. The energy has shifted. That which you have imagined, that which you have felt in the depths of your being, is rushing toward you with unstoppable force. You do not need to chase, beg, or struggle. The only requirement is belief. Assume that it is done. Walk as though you already have it. Speak as though it is already yours. Let every cell in your body resonate with the certainty that what you have asked for is already in motion. You will see signs, not because they are bringing the manifestation, but because they are confirming what has already been done. Every moment you persist in the feeling of fulfillment, you accelerate its arrival. So release any doubt, let go of the illusion of time, trust in the unseen, and soon you will witness the miraculous. What you desire is not something that must be created, chased, or earned. It already exists. It is not a distant possibility waiting for the right conditions. It is here, now, fully formed, awaiting your recognition. The idea that you must struggle to bring it into being is an illusion created by the mind, a result of seeing the world as something separate from you rather than as a mirror of your inner state. Everything you have ever longed for is already present in the unseen. The wealth, the love, the success, the peace. It is all here, vibrating at a frequency that corresponds to your assumption of having it. Your task is not to force its arrival, but to align with it. To step into the version of yourself that already possesses it. Imagine a radio. The music you wish to hear is not created when you turn the dial. It already exists in the airwaves, invisible to the eye, but fully real. The moment you tune in, the music plays. Your desires work the same way. They are not on their way, they are already broadcasting, waiting for you to tune in by shifting your inner state. But what prevents most people from receiving their desires is their focus on the external world. They believe what they see, and when they do not see their desire materialize, they assume it is absent. Yet this is where they go wrong. The outer world does not precede the inner world, it follows it. Whatever you hold within will inevitably reflect outward. The moment you decide with unwavering certainty that your desire is yours, the world must respond. This is why effort, struggle, and force are unnecessary. The harder you try, the more you affirm that your desire is separate from you, but it was never separate. The only separation exists in perception. The instant you remove the illusion of distance, time, or difficulty, what you desire flows effortlessly into your experience. Think of the air you breathe. You do not chase it, worry about it, or doubt its presence. It is simply there, supporting you, responding to your every inhalation. Your desires function the same way. They are always available, always responding, always seeking to manifest in your life. The only difference is whether you believe they are yours or if you continue to entertain the illusion of lack. To truly receive, you must live in the knowing that it is done. Not in hope, not in wishful thinking, but in certainty. Walk through life as though your desire is already here. Feel the emotions you would feel if you had it now. Speak from the place of having, not needing. Do this consistently, and you will find the world shifting around you in ways that seem almost magical. Circumstances will rearrange, opportunities will present themselves, and events will unfold to bring your desire into view. But understand this, it was never about the outside world. It was always about your inner state. The moment you assume your desire is real, the outer world has no choice but to comply. Your desire exists. It is not coming, it is here. All that remains is for you to step into the awareness that it has always been yours. Time is not what you think it is. You have been conditioned to believe that there is a gap between your desire and its fulfillment, that things must unfold step by step, and that waiting is an unavoidable part of the process. But this is only true if you accept it as true. The delay you perceive is not a necessary condition. It is only the reflection of your doubt. The moment you fully accept your desire as real, time ceases to be a factor. It must manifest, for there is nothing holding it back except the illusion that it is not yet yours. You have been taught to see time as linear, to believe that everything must follow a sequence, but this is a misunderstanding. Time is a construct of the mind, a way to make sense of change, but it has no real power over your ability to receive what you desire. When you dream, entire stories unfold in what feels like hours, yet only minutes or seconds pass in waking reality. Time bends according to your state of awareness. The same is true in your waking life. The more you believe in delay, the more you experience it. The more you surrender to the feeling that what you desire is already yours, the faster it arrives. Many people spend years waiting for what could have been theirs in an instant. They set conditions, believing they must first become more deserving, achieve more, or wait for circumstances to align. But this waiting is self-imposed. The moment you shift your awareness, time collapses, and reality conforms to your new assumption. Think of a person who suddenly experiences a breakthrough, a job offer, a relationship, an unexpected opportunity. It may seem as though it happened out of nowhere, but the truth is the shift had already occurred within them. The outer world was merely catching up. This is always the case. Your world is a mirror, reflecting your inner state. If you are waiting, you are affirming that your desire is not yet here. But if you accept it as already done, you eliminate the need for waiting entirely. The world will adjust to match your inner conviction. What stops most people from embracing this truth is their reliance on the senses. They look around and see no evidence of their desire, and so they conclude that it is not yet time. But the senses only report what has already been assumed and sustained in the past. If you continue to trust the outer world more than your inner knowing, you will always be at the mercy of delay. But when you understand that time is fluid, that reality shifts the moment you do, you become free. You no longer ask, when will it come? Because you know it is already here. You live in the end. You feel the certainty, and soon the world catches up to you. The key is persistence. Do not let appearances shake your knowing. Do not allow doubt to creep in just because your eyes do not yet see. Trust that your assumption is the only reality, and time will bow to your certainty. In truth, there is no waiting, there is only claiming. The moment you assume your desire is real, time rearranges to make it so. The key to bringing any desire into reality is simple. Live in the end. You must assume with unwavering certainty that your wish is already fulfilled. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now. Your world is nothing more than a mirror reflecting your state of consciousness. The moment you fully embody the feeling of already having what you desire, reality has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your assumption. Most people live in the state of wanting rather than having. They pray, hope, and wish, all while reinforcing the idea that their desire is separate from them. This very longing creates a barrier, a sense of lack, which keeps their manifestation just out of reach. The secret is to shift out of wanting and into the state of already having. You do this by feeling, thinking, and acting as if your desire is already yours. Imagine a person who desires wealth, but constantly thinks about their financial struggles. They check their bank account in frustration, worry about bills, and affirm their lack at every turn. Even if they take physical action toward financial success, their inner world is rooted in scarcity. And so the world reflects back more of the same. But if this person were to shift their state, if they truly felt wealthy, carried themselves with confidence, and believe in their financial freedom, things would begin to change. Opportunities would appear, ideas would flow, and circumstances would rearrange in their favor. This is not mere wishful thinking, it is the law of consciousness in action. Your world does not operate independently of your inner state. It is shaped by what you assume to be true. If you assume the state of the wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption, it must become reality. The process begins with imagination. Close your eyes and see yourself living the life you desire. Feel it as real. What would it be like if you were already in possession of what you seek? If it is love, feel the warmth of being cherished. If it is success, embody the confidence of one who has already achieved it. Let the feeling take root in you, and do not waver. Your senses may try to deceive you. They may show you the same old reality, tempting you to fall back into doubt. But remember, the outer world is just a reflection of past assumptions. If you persist in your new state, it will override the old, and reality must shift. The world does not operate on effort alone. It responds to who you are being. A person who assumes themselves to be loved attracts love. A person who assumes themselves to be abundant attracts abundance. You do not need to chase or struggle. You only need to embody the end result. As you persist, subtle shifts will begin to occur. Conversations will change. Unexpected events will unfold. Paths will open that you could not have planned. This is the world molding itself to your new assumption. The how is not your concern. Your only job is to remain firm in your state. If doubt arises, return to the feeling. Remind yourself that what you assume with conviction must become your reality. Do not seek confirmation from the outer world. Instead, hold your belief unwaveringly, knowing that the world must catch up to your assumption. This is the secret. Live in the end, and the end will come to you. Many people make the mistake of waiting for signs before they believe. They want to see proof that their desire is on its way before they fully commit to the assumption that it is already theirs. But this is not how reality works. Signs follow, they do not precede. You must first believe with conviction, and only then will the evidence appear. Your world is a reflection of your inner state. If you demand proof before you believe, you are affirming that you do not truly believe. You are saying, I need to see it before I can accept it as real. But all creation begins in the unseen, in the realm of assumption. The moment you accept something as true within, the outer world begins to shift, arranging itself to match your conviction. Imagine a gardener who plants a seed. He does not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. He trusts that the process is already underway. He waters the soil, ensures it has sunlight, and continues about his life, knowing that in time the plant will emerge. The same is true for your manifestations. The moment you assume the state of already having what you desire, the seed is planted. Your job is to persist in that assumption and allow the outer world to catch up. Looking for signs too soon is like uprooting the seed before it has had a chance to grow. It introduces doubt, which weakens your assumption and slows the process. When you seek proof, you are operating from a place of lack. You are saying, I do not have this yet, and I need evidence before I can believe. But the very act of needing proof reinforces the idea that your desire is not yet real, keeping it just out of reach. Instead of seeking signs, become the person who already has what you desire. Assume it fully, live in the end, and trust that the signs will come naturally. You will notice them only after you have already shifted within. They will appear effortlessly, not because you search for them, but because they must follow your assumption. Consider those moments in life when something you once desired became reality. Often you only recognize the signs in hindsight. You realize that events were aligning all along, but at the time you are not aware of them. This is how manifestation works. It unfolds naturally, in ways the conscious mind cannot always predict. Your only task is to believe, to feel as though your wish is already fulfilled. The more you persist in this state, the faster the outer world will conform. Signs will appear, but not as a prerequisite to belief. They will come as a result of your unwavering assumption. If you ever find yourself wondering, where is the evidence? Why haven't I seen a sign? Remind yourself that signs follow, they do not precede. The moment you demand proof, you step out of faith and into doubt. But when you hold firm to your assumption, knowing that it must manifest, you allow the process to unfold without resistance. The world does not show you what you want and then allow you to believe. It reflects back to you what you already believe. If you wait for proof before believing, you will wait forever. But the moment you believe without needing validation, reality will shift and the signs will appear effortlessly. So do not seek signs. Become the living embodiment of your fulfilled desire, and the world will show you what you already know to be true. The moment you struggle for something, you affirm that it is not yours. The more effort you apply, the more you reinforce the idea that your desire is separate from you. Manifestation is not about force, it is about allowing. It is not about effort, it is about assumption. The harder you try, the more you push it away. Instead, you must drop the struggle and rest in the knowing that it is already done. Most people have been conditioned to believe that they must work hard, strive, and struggle to achieve what they want. They have been taught that effort is the price they must pay for success, love, wealth, or happiness. But this belief only keeps them locked in a cycle of trying, never arriving. If you constantly feel that you must do something to make your desire come true, you are unconsciously affirming that it is not yet yours. You are keeping it at a distance. True manifestation happens when you shift from effort to certainty. Imagine for a moment that what you desire is already yours. how would you feel? How would you act? You would not be desperate, anxious, or constantly checking for results. You would move through life with confidence, knowing that it is already done. This is the key. You must adopt the state of the wish fulfilled, not through force, but through inner conviction. When a person struggles to manifest love, they often chase, worry, and analyze every detail, looking for proof that their desire is coming. But this very struggle reinforces the idea that love is missing. The person who truly believes they are loved does not chase or doubt. They rest in the knowing that love is already theirs. And because of this assumption, their outer world must reflect it. The same applies to money, success, health, or any other desire. Struggle is resistance, and resistance blocks manifestation. Think of water flowing effortlessly in a river. The moment you try to grasp it, it slips through your fingers. But when you relax, the water surrounds you naturally. Manifestation works in the same way. It is not about effort. It is about alignment. Dropping the struggle does not mean doing nothing in the physical world. It means releasing the inner resistance that comes from fear, doubt, and over-efforting. Inspired action may come, but it will feel effortless, natural, and aligned, not desperate or forced. Consider how easily things seem to come to those who are confident and relaxed. They do not strain or beg for results. They simply assume they will receive what they desire, and reality conforms to their assumption. This is the state you must adopt. You must know deep within that your desire is already fulfilled. You must embody that state even before your senses confirm it. If you find yourself struggling, pause and ask, what am I affirming by my effort? Am I acting from a place of trust, or am I reinforcing lack? If you are trying too hard, step back, breathe. Remind yourself that creation is finished. What you seek is already yours in the unseen realm. And the moment you stop pushing, it can flow into your reality. Rest in the knowing. Trust that the unseen is just as real as the seen. Do not let appearances fool you. If you hold the assumption of already having your desire, the world must adjust to match it. Struggle is unnecessary. Force is unnecessary. The only requirement is belief. Let go, stop fighting, stop trying to make it happen. Instead, embody the feeling of already having it. Walk in that state, live in that truth, and watch as the outer world bends effortlessly to reflect your inner certainty. Gratitude is the bridge between desire and fulfillment. It is the signature of already having received, the evidence that you truly believe your manifestation is real. When you feel gratitude now, before seeing any physical proof, you align yourself with the state of already having. And when you align with that state, reality must conform to your assumption. Imagine for a moment that your wish has been fulfilled. If you woke up tomorrow and your desire had fully manifested, how would you feel? Would you feel excited, relieved, joyful? Would you thank the universe, God, or yourself for making it happen? That feeling is what you must embody now, before the manifestation appears, because that feeling is what brings it into reality. Gratitude is powerful because it eliminates lack. When you feel thankful, you are not in a state of wanting or longing. You are in a state of receiving. You are affirming that you already have enough, and in doing so, you open yourself up to more. The universe responds to your energy. When you radiate gratitude, you attract more experiences to be grateful for. Many people make the mistake of focusing on what is missing. They wake up thinking about what they do not have, and they carry that lack with them throughout the day. But lack only creates more lack. The mind is a creative instrument, and whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on absence, you get more absence, but if you focus on gratitude, you get more to be grateful for. A simple way to shift into this state is to begin and end each day with gratitude. Upon waking, instead of thinking about what is missing, think about what is already good. Feel thankful for the bed you sleep in, the breath in your lungs, the opportunities that are unfolding, even if you cannot yet see them. Before sleeping, mentally list the things you appreciate, including the desires you are manifesting, as if they have already happened. Gratitude also dissolves resistance. When you desire something, there is often a part of you that doubts, worries, or fears it may never come. These emotions create resistance, slowing the manifestation process. But gratitude melts resistance because it shifts your focus from worry to certainty. Instead of questioning, will this happen? You affirm, I am so thankful it already has. Even when circumstances seem unchanged, persist in gratitude. Do not let appearances fool you. Reality is shaped by your inner world, and just as a seed takes time to sprout beneath the soil, your manifestation is unfolding even when you cannot yet see it. Trust this process. Express gratitude as though your wish is already fulfilled, and you will accelerate its arrival. Gratitude is the ultimate act of faith. It is the unwavering trust that what you have imagined is already yours. It is the knowing that you are the creator of your reality, and by feeling thankful now, you bring your desire closer. If you ever find yourself doubting or questioning, pause and shift into gratitude. Instead of saying, why hasn't it happened yet? Say thank you that it is already done. Carry that feeling with you and watch as the world reshapes itself in response. What you seek is seeking you, and gratitude is the key that unlocks the door. Everything you have been manifesting is already rushing toward you. The moment you accept that your desire exists now, that time is merely an illusion, and that your assumption creates reality, you remove every obstacle standing in your way. When you stop searching for signs and instead live in the end, you shift into the state of already having. Struggle is unnecessary. Manifestation is effortless when you allow it. And above all, gratitude accelerates everything because it confirms that your wish is already fulfilled. Trust this truth. Hold on to your vision. Walk in the feeling of already having received, and reality will rearrange itself to reflect your certainty. Let go of doubt. Embrace the knowing and watch as your desires unfold before you. Thank you for listening, and may you step forward in faith, knowing that everything you seek is already yours.